Howard Cosell, born March 25, 1918 in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, was an iconic American sportswriter and television commentator who reshaped the way sports was reported in the 20th century. Despite his great success, his life was also marked by deep sadness, the greatest of which was not a specific event, but a feeling of isolation amid fame and relentless public criticism. With his bold, outspoken commentary style, Howard often described himself as arrogant, pompous, and annoying, traits that made him both loved and hated. Harsh criticism from viewers and colleagues, calling him a show-off or lacking in sports knowledge, left him at times feeling like he was fighting alone in a world that did not accept differences. He once shared that there were nights when he sat in his New York apartment, reading articles attacking him, feeling like his heart was being squeezed, wondering if he had truly created value or was just a controversial person. This sadness became even more profound when Howard faced personal loss, especially the death of his beloved wife, Mary Edith Abrams, also known as Emmy, in 1990. Emmy was his biggest spiritual support, the person he often said was his life. When she died of a heart attack, Howard felt like he had lost a part of his soul. He said that one time he sat in the living room, looked at the empty chair where Emmy used to sit, and sobbed, feeling utterly alone. This loss was not only a personal pain, but also the collapse of the world he had built with her over 46 years of marriage. He wrote in his autobiography that without Emmy, he would not want to leave his house, would not want to cross the Triborough Bridge, and would not even want to continue his commentary work. This sadness led him to gradually withdraw from the spotlight, living in isolation in his later years, as if fame and success no longer mattered. Another aspect of Howard's greatest sadness in life was the feeling of being misunderstood by the public and his colleagues. As a pioneer in bringing a straightforward commentary style to sports, he was often criticized for controversial statements, such as when he called Alvin Garrett a little monkey in 1983, a comment that led to him being accused of racism and being kicked off Monday Night Football. Although he always insisted that he meant no harm, the incident left him feeling betrayed by the media industry to which he had devoted his life. He once said that after the incident, he sat in his office at ABC, looked out the window and cried because he felt like all his contributions had been negated by one moment of failure. The sadness came not only from the criticism, but also from the feeling that he could not please everyone, despite his efforts to change the public's perception of sports. Howard Cosell's career has been a roller coaster, with great success mixed with painful failures and efforts that brought him to tears. Born into a Jewish family in Winston-Salem, he grew up in Brooklyn, New York, where he developed a passion for sports from his days as sports editor of the Alexander Hamilton High School newspaper. After earning degrees in English and law from New York University, he became a union lawyer in Manhattan, representing high-profile clients such as Willie Mays and members of the New York Little League. It was this work that led to his first opportunity in radio in 1953, when an ABC radio executive invited him to host a program interviewing Little League players. Although he was not paid, Howard worked with great passion, and the program marked the beginning of a long relationship with ABC, which lasted from 1953 to 1985. Howard's career peaked when he became a commentator for ABC's Monday Night Football in 1970. With his sharp voice, bold commentary style, and ability to blend literary knowledge with sports, he turned the show into a cultural phenomenon, attracting millions of viewers. He also became famous for his coverage of Muhammad Ali's boxing matches, back when he was still known as Cassius Clay, and became one of Ali's most vocal supporters when he faced criticism for refusing to be drafted into the military. Other memorable moments included commentating on Miracle on Ice at the 1980 Winter Olympics and the Battle of the Sexes between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs in 1973. He also hosted Saturday Night Live with Howard Cosell and Battle of the Network Stars, demonstrating his versatility in the entertainment industry. These successes earned him numerous awards, including the Arthur Ashe Courage Award in 1995, and the #1 spot on David J. Halberstam's list of the 50 greatest television sportscasters. However, Howard's career was not without its setbacks. One of the biggest was the Alvin Garrett incident in 1983, which led to his dismissal from Monday Night Football at the end of the season. The incident not only damaged his reputation, but also left him feeling betrayed by his colleagues at ABC. He once shared that when he left Monday Night Football, he felt like he had lost a part of himself, and he cried in his car on the way home, wondering if he would ever have another chance to prove his worth. Another setback was when his 1985 autobiography, I Never Played the Game, with its harsh criticism of his colleagues at ABC, isolated him in the media industry. The book, while faithful to his storytelling style, destroyed many relationships and ended his chances of returning to television. He also faced criticism that he lacked a deep knowledge of sports, which made him feel slighted despite his lifelong dedication to the industry. Howard's efforts to overcome these challenges brought him to tears on several occasions. When preparing for Monday Night Football, he would work tirelessly, researching players and games to ensure his commentary was sharp and accurate. He said that one night before a big game, he would sit in his office until dawn, rereading his notes and crying because of the pressure of proving that he was more than just a show-off. Another emotional moment was when he publicly endorsed Muhammad Ali in the 1960s, despite threats and criticism from the public. After an interview with Ali, he returned to his hotel and cried, feeling proud but also lonely in his fight for justice. These tears were not only an expression of sadness, but also a testament to his dedication to his craft and his belief in the truth. Howard Cosell's achievements were not just career milestones, but also deeper goals, related to changing the public's view of sports and leaving a lasting legacy. From a young age, Howard dreamed of becoming a sports journalist who not only reported the news, but also created social change. He wanted to break away from the fawning commentary style that was common in the 1950s, bringing a style that was straightforward, honest, and sometimes controversial. His victories on Monday Night Football and being named the greatest sportscaster of all time by TV Guide in 1993 were testament to this ambition. He also wanted to bring social issues, such as racism in sports, to the forefront of the discussion. His support for Muhammad Ali during the period when Ali was boycotted for refusing to be drafted into the army was one of his greatest efforts, and he hoped that this would inspire future generations of journalists. Howard also aims to be a versatile figure in the media industry. Outside of sports, he has tried his hand at hosting entertainment shows such as Saturday Night Live with Howard Cosell and Battle of the Network Stars. While these shows have not been as successful as Monday Night Football, they show that he is not afraid to challenge himself in new areas. He has also written several books, including Koʊʻsɛl and I Never Played the Game, in the hope of sharing his story and inspiring readers. These books, while controversial, are his way of showing his honesty and passion for his craft. He has said that he wants to be remembered as someone who told the truth, even if it meant being hated. Another accomplishment Howard aims to achieve is to be a proud father and husband. He has 2 daughters, Hillary and Jill, and makes an effort to spend time with them despite his busy schedule. He said that one time Hillary called to share about her work at NBC, and he spent the evening listening, feeling proud that his daughter had followed the same path of media as he had. He also wanted to be a trusted companion for Emmy, often taking her on trips and sharing peaceful moments at his New York apartment. Evenings together, watching games or reading books, were how he kept the family happy. Although his fame made him overwhelmed by the pressure of work, he always tried to put his family first, seeing it as an achievement more important than any award. Ultimately, Howard wants to use his fame to create positive change. He is involved in many charitable activities, especially supporting racial equality in sports and supporting educational institutions. He hopes to establish a charitable foundation in his and Emmy's name, focusing on supporting young journalists and athletes in need. With millions of viewers watching on television and radio, Howard uses his platform to spread a message of honesty and courage. These accomplishments, big and small, are a testament to Howard's determination to live a meaningful life, overcoming sadness to become a media icon. Howard Cosell's love and marriage were emotional chapters in his life, where moments of happiness mixed with deep pain shaped him. Howard met Mary Edith Abrams, known as Emmy, in the early 1940s, while he was a law student at New York University. Emmy, with her gentleness and intelligence, quickly became his soulmate. They married in 1944, in a simple but intimate ceremony in Brooklyn, surrounded by family and close friends. Howard once described Emmy as his guiding light, who was always there for him during the difficult years when he transitioned from law to media. Evenings spent walking along the Hudson River together, talking about the future and big dreams, were memories Howard cherished. He said that every time he looked into Emmy's eyes, he felt like he could conquer the world, despite public criticism. However, their marriage was not always smooth. The pressure of Howard's busy career, especially when he became a commentator for Monday Night Football, kept him away from home often. Constant travel to cover Muhammad Ali's boxing matches and major sporting events left him little time for Emmy. He said that one time he came home from a long trip, expecting to hug his wife, but Emmy sat quietly in the living room, her eyes red with loneliness. That moment made Howard cry, feeling guilty for letting his career overshadow his family. He once shared that there were nights when he sat alone in a hotel room, reading Emmy's letters and crying because he missed her, wondering if he was trading too much for fame. Another sadness in Howard's marriage was the loss of Emmy in 1990. Her sudden death from a heart attack sent Howard into a deep depression. He said that when he received the news, he was in his office at ABC, and he collapsed at his desk, sobbing because he felt like he had lost half of his life. After Emmy's death, Howard became withdrawn, rarely leaving his New York apartment. He said that every corner of the house, from the armchair where Emmy often read to the dining table where they ate dinner, reminded him of her, making him unable to hold back his tears. This sadness was not only a personal loss, but also a feeling that he had no one to share his joys and sorrows with. He once wrote in his diary that without Emmy, all his success would be meaningless. Despite the sadness, Howard and Emmy built a strong marriage that lasted 46 years. They had 2 daughters, Hillary and Jill, and Howard always tried to be a devoted husband, despite his busy schedule. He would call Emmy from faraway cities, telling her about the games he was commentating and listening to her talk about her family life. He said Emmy once sent him a handwritten letter before a big Muhammad Ali fight, saying she was proud of him despite the world's criticism. The letter left Howard crying in his hotel room, feeling empowered to keep going. These efforts showed Howard's deep love for Emmy, but also highlighted his sadness that he could not always be there for her as he would have liked. Howard Cosell's children, Hillary and Jill, were a great source of strength in his life, but also brought challenges and joys. Hillary, the eldest daughter, born in the early years of Howard and Emmy's marriage, was a bright and sensitive girl who inherited her father's sharpness. Jill, the youngest, had a gentler personality, like her mother, and always brought peace to the family. Howard, despite his busy career, always made time for his children, from taking them to the park in Brooklyn when they were little to spending evenings watching the games on TV together. He recalls that Hillary, when she was 5, asked him why people on TV talked so loudly, and Howard spent the evening explaining his job, laughing and hugging his daughter. These moments were his greatest joys, but they also made him realize that he was often absent from his children's important milestones. As Hillary and Jill grew older, Howard struggled to maintain a close relationship with them. His relentless work schedule meant he missed important events, like Hillary's piano recital or Jill's high school graduation. He recalled that Hillary once called to share her job as a producer at NBC, but he could only talk over the phone because he was in Los Angeles to commentate a boxing match. When he hung up, he cried because he felt he couldn't be there to hug his daughter and congratulate her in person. This sadness was deepened when he realized that his fame sometimes put pressure on his children. Hillary was teased by her peers for being the daughter of a famous commentator, and Howard felt helpless to protect her from the mean comments. Despite this, Howard always tried to be a proud father. He wrote Hillary and Jill regular handwritten notes while traveling, sharing stories about their work, and encouraging them to pursue their passions. He was proud of Hillary's choice to pursue a career in media, working at NBC and later becoming a sports producer. With Jill, he supported her decision to pursue a more peaceful life, working in education. He said that Jill once threw him a birthday party at his New York apartment, and when he saw his two daughters and Emmy laughing at the dinner table, he cried with joy. After Emmy's death, Howard became closer to his children, calling them often and inviting them to dinner. He said Hillary and Jill were the reason he kept going, even though the pain of losing his wife made him want to give up everything. Howard's eldest daughter, William Cosell, had insight into the sadness her father experienced, and the times he cried. As a television producer, Hillary knew the pressures of the media industry, and she often acted as her father's confidant. She once shared that Howard was a much more sensitive person than the arrogant, showy image he portrayed on television. She said that there were nights when Howard would come home from a broadcast, sit quietly in the living room, and look at a family photo as if he were carrying a world of pain inside him. She recalled one time when Howard burst into tears when talking about Emmy's death. He told her that he felt like he had lost a part of his soul, and the pain caused him to sob in her arms. Hillary comforted her father, reminding him that he had made their mother proud through his contributions to sports and media. Hillary also shared about the difficulties Howard faced in his career, especially after the Alvin Garrett commenting incident in 1983. She said that Howard often confided in her about feeling misunderstood by the public and his colleagues. There was a time when he sat in his home office, reading articles criticizing him, and cried because he felt like all his efforts were being denied. Hillary said that his father's greatest sadness was the feeling that he could not please everyone, from the audience to his colleagues to his family. She once saw him sitting alone in the studio, listening to his commentary tapes and silently wiping away tears, worried that he had not achieved the perfection he desired. Hillary encouraged her father that the audience loved him for his honesty, not for his perfection. Regarding the pressure from the public, Hillary said that Howard was often hurt by criticism. She said that one time a newspaper called him a showoff, and Howard sat alone in his bedroom, reading the negative comments in the newspaper and crying. Hillary sat with him, telling him that the people who loved him would always appreciate what he had done. She also shared that Howard was very concerned about protecting her and Jill from the media spotlight. He cried when he learned that Hillary was being teased by her friends because of her father's fame, and he said that he was willing to give up everything so that his children could have a peaceful life. Hillary said that she admired her father's dedication to his family, despite the many challenges he faced. Hillary also mentioned Howard's efforts to overcome sadness. She said that he often turned to writing as a way to release his emotions. There were nights when he sat in his office until dawn, writing his autobiography and articles to express his views. She said that she was proud of Howard for never giving up, even though there were days when he felt exhausted by the pressure. Hillary described her father as a man with a big heart, always trying to bring joy to others despite his own pain. She hopes that Howard's legacy, from his revolutionary comments to his love for family, will continue to inspire people. In conclusion, Howard Cosell's life has been an emotional journey with career highs and lows. From his childhood days in Brooklyn to his status as an iconic sportscaster, Howard has proven that honesty and courage can change an industry. His greatest sorrows, from the loss of Emmy, public criticism, and feelings of isolation, have shaped him, but also made him stronger. His career with Monday Night Football, his commentary on Muhammad Ali, and countless memorable moments is a testament to his talent and passion. His achievements, from changing the way sports is viewed to becoming a proud father, show that he never stopped dreaming and striving. In love, despite the pain of losing his wife, he built a lasting marriage with Emmy. His children, Hillary and Jill, were his greatest source of strength, despite the challenges of fatherhood. Hillary's comments about Howard's grief reveal a sensitive man who struggled to find meaning in his life. Although he passed away in 1995, Howard Cosell's legacy lives on, not only through his contributions to the media, but also through his love and devotion to his family. His life, with all its joys and sorrows, is a story of perseverance and passion that resonates forever. Resonates forever. Resonates forever.